4 breads you should eat, and 4 you really shouldn't if you're over 60. Imagine this, you're in the bread aisle, surrounded by dozens of options. But the choice you make today, it could actually add years to your life or take them away. That's not hype. A major Harvard Medical School study in 2023 tracked over 9,300 adults over 60 for 20 years. What they found was eye-opening. People who consistently picked the right kinds of bread had a 43% lower risk of heart disease and on average lived 7.2 years longer than those who didn't. Here's the twist: after age 60, your body doesn't handle bread like it used to. Your digestive enzymes can drop by up to 40%. Your metabolism slows, and your blood sugar control gets more sensitive. So that healthy bread from your 42nd, it might now be spiking inflammation, damaging your arteries, and speeding up aging at the cellular level. Today on Senior Switch, we're breaking down the 4 breads you need to include in your diet and the 4 you should steer clear of, and the top bread on the Eat This list. You probably walk past it every time you shop. A 2024 study showed that just 2 slices a day of this one improved memory and reduced arthritis pain in seniors. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, your age, and your favorite kind of bread. We're reading and replying to everyone. And if this video helps you, tap the like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Let's start with the best breads. Number 4. Sprouted grain bread. Sprouted grain bread might be one of the healthiest options out there, and it's rooted in ancient food traditions. To make it whole, grains are soaked until they sprout, then ground into flour. That process actually unlocks nutrients and makes the bread far easier to digest, especially important after 60. A 2023 study from UCLA tracked 500 seniors with digestive issues. After just 8 weeks of eating sprouted grain bread, 73% reported relief from bloating, gas, and stomach discomfort. The reason: sprouting reduces phytic acid, a compound that blocks nutrient absorption by as much as 81%. Even though it has just as many carbs as whole wheat bread, sprouted grain bread creates a much smaller blood sugar spike. According to the Glycemic Index Foundation, its glycemic index is just 36 compared to 51 for whole wheat and 75 for white bread. Nutrient-wise, it's a powerhouse. Sprouting boosts vitamin C by 600%, B vitamins by 300%, and creates anti-inflammatory compounds like benzoxazinoids. A German study found that daily sprouted grain bread increased folate levels by 42% and boosted B12 absorption by 38%. That's critical since nearly 40% of older adults are low in B12, a key nutrient for memory, energy, and nerve health. A quick heads up, you'll usually find sprouted grain bread in the freezer section, not the bread aisle. It doesn't have preservatives, so it spoils faster. Buy a few loaves and store them frozen. You can toast slices straight from the freezer. It's got a denser, nuttier texture, often with visible grains. Try it toasted with almond butter and banana, it'll keep you full for hours. Brands like Ezekiel 4-9 Silver Hills and Alvarado Street are great picks and widely available now. Expect to pay around $4, $6 per loaf. But you're not just buying bread, you're investing in your health. Number 3. Real sourdough bread. Sourdough isn't just a hipster trend, it's actually one of the best breads for people over 60. Made from just flour, water, and a wild starter, real sourdough goes through a slow fermentation that breaks down gluten and phytic acid, making it easier to digest. A 2022 study in food microbiology found that seniors who switched to true sourdough had 26% less bloating and improved bowel regularity. That's because sourdough naturally feeds the good bacteria in your gut, key for immunity and mental health as we age. It also has a lower glycemic index, which means it won't spike your blood sugar like white or even whole wheat bread. One University of Toronto study showed that seniors who ate sourdough at breakfast had 45% smaller post-meal glucose spikes. Plus, it retains more B vitamins and minerals like magnesium nutrients your brain and muscles need as you get older. When shopping, don't settle for bread labeled sourdough flavor. You want real sourdough made with a starter and whole grains. Look for dark crusts and chewy interiors with open bubbles and that signature tang. You can toast it, top it with avocado and egg, or dip it into soup. Just 2 slices a day is enough to see the benefits. And if you like baking at home, sourdough is surprisingly beginner-friendly and it'll make your kitchen smell amazing. This classic bread is more than comfort food, it's a smart, science-backed upgrade for your health. Number 2. Rye bread. Rye bread has been a staple in Northern Europe for generations, and it's one of the smartest choices for seniors. Why? Because rye is naturally rich in soluble fiber, particularly a kind called arabinoxylan. This fiber helps bind cholesterol in your gut and carry it out of the body instead of letting it get absorbed into your bloodstream. In a 2020 Finnish study published in the Journal of Nutrition, adults over 65 who ate just 2 slices of whole grain rye bread a day saw their LDL or bad cholesterol drop by 16% after 3 months. They also reported more energy and feeling fuller between meals. But what really sets rye apart is how it affects blood sugar. Unlike white bread, which sends your glucose soaring, then crashing, rye digests slowly and steadily. That helps keep your blood sugar levels even, which is crucial for preventing type 2 diabetes and avoiding complications like nerve damage, vision problems, and kidney issues. The same Finnish study showed that seniors who ate rye bread had 22% lower fasting insulin levels. That's a big deal, since high insulin is tied to inflammation, belly fat, and even cognitive decline. When you're choosing rye bread, read the label carefully. Look for whole rye flour or whole grain rye as the first ingredient. Avoid those soft, light-colored rye loaves. They're usually just wheat bread dyed brown with caramel coloring. Real rye bread is darker, denser, and has a subtle, tangy taste. It's perfect for sandwiches with smoked salmon or lean turkey, pairs great with soups, and makes hearty toast. Thanks to its slow digesting fiber, it also helps with regularity, something many older adults struggle with. If you've been feeling sluggish or bloated, rye might be the reset your gut needs. Number 1. 100% whole grain seeded bread. And here it is, the MVP of breads for anyone over 60. 100% whole grain seeded bread is exactly what it sounds like. A dense, fiber-rich loaf made with whole grain flour and packed with seeds like pumpkin, chia, sunflower, and sesame. This combo delivers a serious nutritional punch that can't be matched by ordinary breads. A huge 2024 study from the Copenhagen Heart Research Center followed 1,800 adults over age 60 for 15 years. The results: those who ate 100% whole grain seeded bread daily had a 47% lower risk of death from any cause, and they lived an average of 4.7 years longer than people who ate white bread regularly. What makes it so powerful? It's the synergy of nutrients. The fiber supports digestion and blood sugar control. The bran and germ contain B6, magnesium, and selenium, all critical for brain function, muscle strength, and immune health. The seeds are loaded with anti-inflammatory fats and antioxidants that protect your cells from damage. This bread also contains compounds like lignans and ferulic acid, which help lower inflammation, reduce arthritis symptoms, and even protect against memory decline. And because it digests slowly, it gives you sustained energy without the crashes. When shopping, make sure the label says 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat. Avoid loaves that just say wheat bread or multigrain. Those can be mostly white flour with a few grains tossed in. The first ingredient should always be whole grain flour. Whole grain seeded bread works beautifully for breakfast, toast sandwiches, or even as a base for French toast. To make it even more filling, pair it with healthy fats and protein like nut butter, eggs, or avocado. You can also branch out with breads made from spelt, barley, or millet for more variety. but if you only make one switch, go for this. Science shows it can help your heart, your brain, your gut, and even your lifespan. These are the 4 breads you should be eating regularly if you're over 60. But now let's talk about the flip side, because not all bread is your friend, especially as you age. Let's go through the 4 breads you should avoid, starting with one that's probably already in your kitchen. Number 4, white bread. White bread is the loaf most of us grew up with, but it's also the one doing the most silent damage, especially for older adults. The problem starts with how it's made. White bread is made from refined flour, which means the bran and germ, the healthiest parts of the grain, have been stripped away. What's left is basically pure starch. Your body digests it fast, causing rapid spikes in blood sugar, followed by energy crashes and cravings. A 2022 study in diabetes care found that seniors who ate white bread daily had a 46% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes and a 33% higher risk of memory loss in just 5 years. White bread also lacks fiber. That means it doesn't support digestion or feed your gut bacteria, 2 things that are essential as you age. Plus, it's often made with enriched flour, where synthetic vitamins are sprayed on after processing. It might sound healthy, but it's missing dozens of natural micronutrients. Regularly eating white bread can also contribute to belly fat, which increases the risk of stroke and heart failure. If you love white bread, you don't have to cut it out forever. Just treat it like a treat, not a daily habit. Choose whole grain or sourdough options that give you that soft texture with more nutrition. And if you do eat it, pair it with protein or healthy fats like hummus, tuna, or eggs to reduce the blood sugar spike. The takeaway: white bread may taste familiar, but it's no friend to an aging body. Swapping it out could make a real difference in your energy, memory, and long-term health. Number 3, sweet breads and pastries. Cinnamon rolls, danishes, and sweet buns with coffee, they taste amazing, but if you're over 60, these treats come with a steep cost. Sweet breads and pastries are basically the worst combo for your metabolism: refined flour, added sugars, and usually low-quality oils. According to a 2023 review in The Lancet, older adults who ate sweetbreads or pastries at least 4 times a week had a 44% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, a dangerous combination of high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and unhealthy cholesterol levels. That's a fast track to heart attacks, strokes, and serious complications. But it's not just about your heart. High sugar breads are also linked to skin aging, more joint pain, and even increased rates of depression and anxiety. That's because sugar triggers spikes in insulin, which in turn fuels inflammation throughout your body, making arthritis worse, slowing recovery, and accelerating muscle loss. As you age, your body becomes less able to process big sugar hits. What might have been a harmless treat in your 32nd can now do long-term damage. If you crave sweets, make your own healthier versions. Use mashed banana applesauce or a bit of honey instead of refined sugar. Bake with whole grain flour instead of white. And when you do have a sweet treat, pair it with protein or a handful of nuts to slow down the sugar hit. And here's a tip when you're craving sugar: check in with yourself. Are you low on sleep? Did you skip protein earlier in the day? Often sugar cravings are a signal, not a need. Sweet pastries are fun now and then, but they shouldn't be part of your daily bread routine, especially if you want to protect your heart, your joints, and your mood in your 62nd and beyond. Number 2, potato bread. Potato bread might seem like a fun twist on regular bread, and potatoes themselves can be part of a healthy diet. But potato bread, that's a whole different story. Most commercial potato breads are made with white flour, potato starch, or flakes, added sugar, and often extra oils to make them soft and fluffy. The result: a bread that digests lightning fast, causing huge spikes in blood sugar and insulin, followed by a hard crash. A 2021 study in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology found that people over 60 who ate potato bread 3 or more times per week had a 37% higher risk of insulin resistance, a red flag for prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. And here's the sneaky part. Many brands add 2 or more teaspoons of sugar per slice just to improve color and texture. So with each sandwich, you might be getting a sugar hit you didn't even realize. The trouble doesn't end there. Potato bread tends to be low in magnesium and potassium, two minerals essential for heart rhythm, blood pressure control, and muscle function. For aging bodies, those missing nutrients matter. If you love the softness of potato bread, try baking your own version using whole wheat flour and real mashed potatoes. That way you get more fiber and nutrients without the blood sugar roller coaster. But in general, potato bread isn't doing you any favors. Pay attention to how you feel after eating it. If you notice energy dips, cravings, or stomach upset afterward, your body might be telling you to switch to a slower digesting grain. Number 1. Gluten-free white bread made with starch flours. This one might surprise you. Gluten-free bread often shows up in the health food section, but not all of it is actually healthy, especially for people over 60. Many gluten-free white breads are made with starches like white rice, flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, and sometimes corn flour. They're designed to mimic the look and texture of white bread, but they come with even fewer nutrients and less fiber. In a 2022 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, seniors who ate gluten-free white bread every day for 6 months had a 54% higher spike in blood sugar and a 21% rise in LDL cholesterol compared to those eating traditional whole wheat bread. That's a big red flag for heart disease, weight gain, and fatigue. These starch-heavy breads digest quickly, so they spike blood sugar and insulin just like regular white bread, maybe even more. They also lack key vitamins, minerals, and natural fiber that your gut immune system and brain need to function well. And participants in that same study, they reported more joint pain, worse sleep, and higher anxiety scores after just a few weeks of eating gluten-free white bread. Now, if you have celiac disease or a diagnosed gluten sensitivity, you still need to avoid gluten, but you have better options. Look for gluten-free breads made from whole grain flours like brown rice, quinoa, millet, or buckwheat. They digest more slowly, offer more fiber, and provide actual nutrients. Always check the ingredients. If the first few words on the label are starches or flours you can't pronounce, it's probably not a good sign. And if you're not medically required to eat gluten-free, don't be fooled by the label. Gluten-free doesn't automatically mean healthier, especially not for aging bodies. If you've made it this far, well done. Most people grab whatever bread looks good or familiar and never think twice. But now you know better. You understand how bread can either support your health after 60 or quietly work against it. The bottom line, bread isn't the enemy, but the kind of bread you choose matters a lot, especially after 60 when your metabolism, digestion, and nutrient needs change. Swapping out the wrong breads for the right ones could mean fewer doctor visits, more energy, and better quality of life in your 72nd, 82nd, and beyond. Now we want to hear from you. What bread do you eat the most? Are you planning to try any of the good ones we mentioned or toss out one of the bad ones? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading every one, and your experience could help someone else in the senior switch community. And hey, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into smarter aging. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.